funny, can't tell me nothing different. My nose twitching, intuition setting in like Steve Vision. I still close my eyes, I still see visions, still hear that voice in the back of my mind. So what I do, I still take heed, I still listen, I still paint that perfect picture, I still shine bright like a prism, my words still skin. I know you can't, won't get it. You chose to ride that ship, salt with it. I'm still afloat. I ain't the captain of the yacht, but I'm on the boat. I ain't acting what I'm not, knowing that I don't. You acting like you will, but I know you won't. Won't. I read between the lines of the eyes of your brows, your handshake and matching your smile. Staring at hammers, ready to go bananas. Two vests on me, two extra on me. I know my mind ain't playing tricks on me. I ain't skits on me. Ain't nobody drop a mic on me. It's like a drum plot to sit on me. I hear this voice in the back of my mind like Matt, tighten up your circle. Before they hurt you, read their body language. 85% communication, non-verbal. 85% swear they know you. 10% know they square. The other 5 I'ma show you. Just know you. They pull their strings, you the puppet master. Some other and watch who you puffin' after. Play your cards, go against all lies. Shoot for the moon if you miss, still amongst those stars. I ain't scared.
Yeah, so how can I disarm you? What does it take to disarm you? How can someone disarm you? What does it take for someone to disarm you? Have you ever asked yourself that? What made me think of this live today is that it just came to my mind. It's been like this, but I was like, damn, it seemed like everybody wants smoke nowadays. That's the feel you get when you step outside now. I don't know about you, but yeah, I can see the different attitudes on people. It's more than usual. Yeah, it's more than it normally is. People people walking around angry, driving around angry. Yeah, like have you noticed? I don't know if you've been in something similar to this recently. Anyway, recent. I'm sure you have dealt with shit like this, but recently, where to be a situation where a citizen, a fellow citizen of yours does something out of disrespect towards you and you call them out on it. I mean, back in the day, at least how I was raised, when that shit happens, it's like normally the stand up guy would be like, oh, my fault, man. You know what I mean? It'd be on that type of time most times, unless you run into somebody that literally wake up choosing violence. And most people do. Most people do without even knowing. It's subconscious. Like they don't even be knowing they wake up and choose violence every day. In the same breath, on the same breath, be saying they Christian or what have you. Yeah, I'm speaking from experience, even as one. I'm not speaking from a distance. Yeah, I'm not speaking from a distance with this. I just look at it like the tone, the precedent that is being set is very dark. Yeah, it's very dark. It makes me think, I notice a lot of people have a thirst for nostalgic things now. It's been like that for some years now, but yeah, that's normally how it goes. But when I see the world like this, when I see the society like this, like people treating people like shit, people just riding around with so much rage, so much rage in their heart. You could see it in their face. You could feel it. Even if they smiling, you could feel the spirit. You could feel that. People don't realize that you could feel that shit. I know because I know you could feel mine. Like that shit is real. Like that shit is real. We in a society right now that like tensions is high, 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 and it's coming from all. And it's boom. I want to put this out there. Coming from me, my generation, I could say, at least from my experience, I grew up in the world. I was born in the world like this. What we seeing right now is this more emboldened, like meaning you can see it, you can access it now. Like motherfuckers ain't saying, "Oh, the blacks is lying or they complaining or what have you." It's like, nah, you you could feel it too, right? And you would think being that across the board, different people that haven't experienced, this throughout their life is getting a taste of this type of shit, which I don't wish it on nobody. That's what they got it twisted too. Like, don't nobody want to compare traumas. Don't nobody want to trauma bond and shit. My trauma is worse than yours. I win. Like, fuck all that. Like I was saying, like you would think that being that it's hitting home to people that ain't really grow up this way, uh, you would think that it would call, it would be some type of call to action, you know what I'm saying? Like mutually through, between the groups, between humans. You would think that would be the moral thing to do. It'd be some type of call to action. I speak on that a lot because when we be on these social medias and, depending on your algorithm, some of y'all got food, cooking shit, fitness, whatever it may be coming across your algorithm, entrepreneurship, different lanes. And oftentimes you'll get I guess startled, you know, get surprised with a post of, some type of injustice, some type of, wild event, wild, tragedy come across your timeline, and it'll hit home. It'll hit, even if you trying to be tough. That most human beings don't even know they do this, but you have like your own defense mechanism. Your force field. You like try to knock shit down. Like, I ain't trying to get all sensitive to that. Or you'll try to justify. That's what we normally do. We'll see something being that we're from a distance, a safe distance to judge it, safe distance to judge it, you'll come up with the most outlandish shit. And like you can tell that you ain't in the fire, so your judgment is irrelevant. Like you wasn't placed with those cards. It wasn't in your path to even go through that. It was that brothers or that sisters, it happened to them. And you'd be like, from the comments, people would be like, oh, I would have done this and would have done that. And it's like, man, that approach right there is a doom, it's a lose-lose situation. That approach, just approaching shit with that type of mindset, that makes sense. That's where I'm getting at. Like, how can I disarm you? How can I fucking disarm you? How can you disarm me? Try to figure out how you could disarm me. I think that's not a challenge in the manner of like negativity. I'm not coming from that angle or that spirit. I'm coming from a spirit of, you know, solution based. That's what that is. Like how many of you been in an altercation with somebody and then you've disarmed it by, nah, you ain't grab them. You know how people like to put hands on somebody's shoulder and be like, all right, calm down, man, or what have you. But you didn't feed into the chaos. You didn't feed into the tone. Tone is big. That's bigger than even words. You didn't feed into the tone, and or the whole, what I mean, the whole climate. You didn't feed into it, and you disarmed the whole situation by approaching it very unexpected to the receiver, the other side. And like they totally got caught off guard by your response, your reaction. I mean, that's easier said than done. Being able to have that type of discipline and discernment. Speaking from my experience, I didn't learn any of that till I got older. And if you was to ask me, uh, as far as peers and things, I don't think they knew that either. You know, I don't think they would know how to actually assess a situation and react accordingly. Like I heard some recently, old head that said shit. But yeah, I don't really respect that. How much is wood or Chuck? Yeah, see what I'm saying? Like, that's corny. Who the fuck does that? But yeah, how can I disarm you? How can you be disarmed? Does it take love? Does it take love for you to be disarmed? Or do you choose violence? You rather have violence? Which one? Which one do you prefer, love or violence? What's the wild part the crazy part about that question is most people will say they choose love, but in their heart is violence. You know, they often say I'm a Christian. They often say shit like that. They'll tell you their denomination, which that shouldn't disarm you. That should not disarm you. Like, it's a lot of slogans. There's a lot of, I guess, titles and labels and shit that subconsciously will disarm you when you hear it, or even I could say even the uniforms. You know, your perception of how how you view a person. Your guard will go down. Like, it's a running narrative that which is as far as stereotype shit, there's truth in jokes, there's truth in stereotypes. You know what I'm saying? There's truth in lies. But yeah, there's this running narrative that when a white person go to the hood, they can go to the projects, boom, they don't get pressed, they don't get checked, none of that. And let a black dude that ain't from around there come to that same project, or that same hood, boom, they getting checked, they getting pressed off top. Now somebody, so why do we do that? Why do black people do that? I can honestly tell you that I've seen that. Especially if they walk up with a fucking button up with a tie, a dress shirt and tie. Yeah, you black dude we instantly like you looking at him like he police off top. That's the number. Yeah, he police. And you showing him respect, yes sir, and shit like that. Ain't that something? Niggas be calling other groups outside of their group sir and all this shit, brother and all that. But when you see me, it's instantly. If anything, I know there's like a delineation happening, which all praises. I respect it. We should respect our differences. Not see, that's one of those things right there. How can I disarm you? As far as that, I don't mean to be all over, but shit, how can we disarm each other with all that's going on? It's all kind of shit going on. I ain't saying come pussy, come with, bent over, I ain't saying that. I'm saying, like you want to live, I want to live, you know. I want to raise my family, you want to raise your family. I want to eat, you want to eat, you know what I mean? And therefore, so on and so on. Like, so it's like the way we moving, well, I could say some is not, but the climate right now, it's like everybody want to smoke, man. And and the sad part about it is that a lot of people that are feeling that way have never even felt like that in their life. And there's like one particular group, of course, you already know. And that's what I mean. People be thinking we think we cool because we from the projects and from the hood and shit like that. And that's not, that's nowhere near like being proud where you from. Yeah, that's where that come from. That's having the love of your people and where you from. But to glorify the trauma, the degenerate shit, nah, man, that's not our culture. That's not our culture. But like I was saying, boom, as far as, everybody wants smoke right now. Like people just walking around with clouds over their head, for real. Shout out to that YouTuber, Young Will and Rico. Oh, so funny. Like, yeah, I watched the video, and that also what sparked this live. The dude asked that question. It was like, what does it take to disarm? Which would you prefer use to disarm someone? And that was like powerful, because that's on the wavelength I be thinking. I loved how he brought that out. Like, yeah, do you choose love? Would you receive love, or give love, or violence? Do you choose violence? Most people choose violence. They'll tell you love though. It's very easier said than done, especially being battle tested. You see what I mean? Most people that be wolfing and all that, and that's what you're dealing with right now. The climate is very, very, thick. It's very thick outside, man. Pause. Like that's how I feel. It's like, man. And it makes you, like I was talking about, the nostalgia. Everybody got a thirst for, a taste for nostalgia things. Yeah, it just makes you think about when it wasn't like this. Like I posted something on my page recently saying that it was like I miss the days of before I knew how it really was, basically. How many of you could say that? Yeah, you miss the days before it got to how it is, or before you was aware of it, eyes open, ears open to it. Because a lot of us that get older or whatever, that happens naturally, all because you ain't in it no more. See, when you in it, you definitely don't even recognize it either. It's normal. It's normalized. Like how we approach each other, how we, conflict, resolve conflict. Like it's all normalized. Which is, most would say it's a poison, it's a disease. Especially when you in it and don't know, you know what I mean? That's typically how ailments work, for sure. It'll already be settling and eating away. By the time you catch it, you got X amount of time to kill it, or get it out, extract it out of you, or it's too late. Yeah, like I was saying, how we be approaching each other, how we perceive each other. I could say it's gotten a lot better as compared to like I would say earlier decades, like the '90s. Like more brothers is seeing each other, and if you Black American, we nod, we say what's good or what have you, and everybody done assimilated to that, and it ain't nothing wrong with it. That's respect. It's the language of the land, So just don't come with that hate or whatever. Respect our differences. We respect yours. See, these is all important when it comes to interaction, communicating. A big part of it is how can you disarm a person? You know, is your communication coming off, as aggressive, or is it coming off as like scammy? You see what I mean? Like, I don't know about you, like I perceive a lot of that from people is disingenuine. Like it'd be like just, which you should always move with motive, but you get what I'm saying. Like you could just hear the deceit in it. And I don't know about you, I stay away from shit like that. I keep it north and south. Very short. I'm already short with people, but that's definitely a tactic to disarm people. If you don't already do that, keep it short with that type of energy. Always protect yourself. I'm never gonna say don't protect yourself. It's just don't make the first move. Cause right now, yeah, people stepping out with violence on their heart, on their mind. It's this very, very. They be having their kids. Everybody be having, you know what I mean? Like it's just very, very tense. You see it on your timeline, just different things coming across your timeline. I think something happened I think it's North Carolina, something like that. Those things happen all the time. Just because you're able to see it on the timeline, don't think that it's like, oh, this is groundbreaking or some shit. Like, this shit never, it's always been like this. It's kind of like racism, and shit that they used to, a lot of us think that it's not happening right now. All the things that our ancestors dealt with in the 60s and beyond. It's like that shit never stopped. They just doing it in a different way. A lot of you are playing into it. A lot of it is inequity, and you can't help it anyway. At the same time, I believe when you're going through these things, when you're going through these things, you got a system going at you like this as a people oppressing you. I believe it's necessary for growth. Like during these times, or whenever you realize, oh, this is how it really is. Like whenever you got so-called woke and started being conscious about what's going on, it should have sparked in you some type of moral compass, whole different step, whole different feel in your step. Like, oh, I'm not gonna go out there and play into these traps or be another what we used to say, be another statistic, like, cause that's what it did for me. Once I started hearing all this, I'm like, damn, for real, we play ball and all that shit with these people. We grew up playing football, basketball, all that shit. And now a lot of us are seeing that the same ones that you was in class with are the policymakers and, your supervisors and owners, CEOs and shit. And they anti-black. Ain't that a bit? That's crazy. That shit blows my mind. And then be courtside at the Laker game. Watching blacks run up and down the court. It's very warped out here. So that's why I say it's very important to know how to disarm someone. How can you disarm and you gotta know the consequences that come with it, You gotta know the actions, the events that follow. You just gotta know what you dealing with first off. You gotta be knowing what you dealing with. I've ran across plenty of brothers that act like, it ain't even like how it is, like, racism don't exist and type shit, and that shit is funny to me. That's conversation over, you know what I mean? All right, then you be easy. Like, I don't have nothing else to say. I don't have shit else to say. Once I see that's the thing, that's a big part of, I guess, maturity. Like, if somebody doesn't align up with your beliefs and, your whole get down, your program, you shouldn't be wanting to kill them over that. You shouldn't be, like, I don't know why it sparks in a lot of people's heart to destroy the you know what I mean? Someone that is, they don't align up with your beliefs, or, their home ain't like your home, or their skin ain't like your skin. What I would love to ask a racist, like, what is it about black people, or what is it about whatever race that you're racist towards that makes you racist towards them? You know what I mean? Actually point it out. Outline it, I mean. I don't think they could do it. I think they have some, like, ongoing regurgitating, narrative, like fantasy, because a lot of times we don't even play into their little boxes that they, labels that they have. A lot of times we don't even fit the shoe, so it's like, and they stuck on the island with that. Have you ever noticed that? Like, perfect example is like you speak well or something. They'll tell you speak well. You sound so articulate. You got great insight and shit like that. And then you could either choose the high road or the low road. You respond to them on some, like, the fuck you mean by that, or you could dismiss it. Stand tall and dismiss it. But yeah, that's a subtle way of, displaying racism. Yeah, that's a perfect example. But yeah, man, it just made me want to talk about this topic. How can you decide? Because I think, there's different things as far as being solution-based. Because look, your average human being in this society, your average motherfucker in this society right now be saying shit like, "I shoot you in the face," shit like that. And they don't even be really them, man. Nobody, I'm definitely not saying, "Oh, you won't do it," If you ask me, I believe a toddler will shoot somebody in the face, a baby will. So, yeah, I'm definitely not gonna not believe you. All I'm saying is, when it comes down to it, Like it's not that it don't stop there. It's not just okay, boom, you executed your action, your motive, boom, did it. Now what? You know what I'm saying? Like I guess you woke up knowing that you was gonna forfeit everything. You know what I'm saying? I guess you already had that in your you know what I mean? In your mind that today I'm gonna forfeit everything. Like I truly believe that most people are not moving like that. That like it'll take just a which this why I asked the question, how can you be disarmed? How can you disarm a person? How can I disarm you? Like it'll take whatever, I just believe like it'll blow over and then you'll be like, man, I coulda, yeah, I know. It happens every day, all day, over the pettiest shit. You said something, you know what I mean? You said something reckless to somebody. Somebody said something reckless to you. Looked at you wrong. It'd be motherfuckers banging over parking spots, all kind of shit. Now imagine if the two parties are moving with that in mind. Like, do they really value what they have? Like, you see what I mean? I don't believe it. Your average motherfucker will tell you, oh, I got a Lexus or whatever, a Beamer or whatever, and that big house and all that, but do they really value it? Because in the next sentence, they'll be like, man, let somebody run up on me, I'm shooting them in the face. Like, so it's like, damn. You just contradicted everything you just said. I don't believe you. Like I believe you'll do the violence, but I don't believe you're coming with the love. You know, how people say, like, let me use the reference to that movie Sinners again. They're like, oh, we just want to love. We just want to love. Play music. Like, very, deceiving. And I don't want nobody to think that I'm coming from like a, dear than thou, holier than thou standpoint. Not on that. It's just a matter of like a big I guess part of the question I'm asking. How can one be disarmed? It just comes from maturity, man. It just comes from like what's really in your heart. What do you really value? Because if your first instinct is to, that's why people carry. Like, that's really why people carry. People carry because they can't wait to use it. Most got a dusty ass gun that they clean all the time, and then they can't wait to use it. You see what I mean? Like, at least on someone. Like, that's that's what they got it for. They want to, that's a human. Damn. To me, I believe that's one of everybody's fucking bucket list. Whether you talking to somebody that's about, they talk about positiveness or pastor, it don't matter the walk of life. I believe that's on everybody's bucket list. The interest, it intrigues them. Look, people watch crime shows all the time. See, there's something to be said about that. Yeah, everybody would love to catch a body. And go back to their regular life though. See, that's the difference. That's the difference. They're not willing to go sit down in some prison or, boom, get in a standoff with the police or any of that. All they know is that this motherfucker took the parking spot and then called me a nigger, or call me a fat sloppy bitch or some shit like that. Like, you see what I mean? Like it, and then boom, 5 seconds, and then you forfeit all your shit. And you weren't even if you was thinking like that when you woke up, like, yeah, like, you certainly don't need to be roaming around in society. You got to get the help you need. That's why I said that earlier. Like, I'm always going to say that too. People are in denial about mental health. I just truly believe in these times, if you are existing in these times right now, living in such a time, all the way down to the youth, all the way down to the babies, to the kids, most definitely, everybody's impacted. They feel it off the parents. They feel it off the elders, the kids. So they might not know the ins and outs and details and, the politics of what's going on, but yeah, they, believe it or not, yeah, everybody's impacted. So it's like, it's this imperative for people to at least admit that, because it's not I don't know why they put this stigma on that. Like, that's crazy. That's wild. Like, yeah, every walk of life. I'm talking everybody, all the competent people that you have to deal with on a daily. Your police, your teachers, your nurses, your doctors. Yeah. But for some reason, it's down on the common man level. People are thinking that it's like horrible to admit that, hey man, I'm feeling some type of way. I gotta get the help I need. Instead, they try to cloak it. They try to, disguise, and that's how see what I mean? You running around, people using these terms, demons and shit. I be trying to tell people, don't be putting that out there like that. Don't call yourself a demon. Like, that's crazy. Cause I don't even think you want to deal with what comes with that. You see what I'm saying? I don't think you want to deal with what comes with that. If you do, if you thought it all out, hey, more power to you. But most, yeah, they don't really know what comes with all that, putting that type of energy out there like that. Once again, I'm speaking from experience. I'm having to unlearn things that I've learned to do just based off of survival growing up. That's what I could say from my experience. Like, it's a lot of things that I had to unlearn. I'm trying to unlearn as a grown, or as a older man, older young man. That yeah, you just adapt it. You put it in. I like to call it. You put it in your tool bag. Pulled it out when you need it. Like, it's always been, it'd be toxic traits and shit. You know what I mean? Like, how somebody could walk up to me and be like, "Hey, bro, you know where is this such street?" You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, irritated because this nigga asking me out of all these people. This nigga asking me. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's something wrong. See, that's mental health, bruh. Or sis, anybody that's listening, like, you can't be thinking that that's just normal. It's popping off on people. So now that I'm older, I do it in a whole different way. I still dismiss people because I don't, I'm very private. I don't really like people getting too close. No, especially strangers. No. I would advise you to practice that as well. But anyway, yeah, I just yeah, when it comes to that, I keep it north and south, very short. Yeah, but the mental health thing is definitely big on why you see people not. See, a lot of people don't even know how to handle conflict, disagreement. you know, talking about grown, 30s, 40s, 50s, see, like, we can't be just putting it on the youth. They learn, they watch, they look. I'm gonna speak from my perspective, just from being their elder, just 10 years older than than you know what I mean, what y'all calling YNs and shit or what have you. Yeah, like they adapting to what's going, you know what I mean, to what they born into. That's what that is. Like you gotta hold yourself, the generation before them at fault, and so on and so on. And no, we don't just sit up there and harp on the fault. Hell no, that's non that ain't productive. Like we don't just sit on the fault. No, we notice it. You know what I mean? Highlight the threat, and then boom, this, you know what I mean? Assess it. What we need to do immediately, go to solution base immediately. Like you notice these young cats, they'll have a cloud over them. They'll have a cloud over them, and you could be the one that helps them remove it, because at one point in your life you had the cloud over you. What's crazy is they'll see that the younger cat will see that in the old head. Like, damn, I bet you was wild when you was OG. You know what I mean? Like they can see that, because most people, your ways don't necessarily alter you to where people can't recognize you. But when you stop doing dumb shit, when you stop moving on a certain type of time, yeah, people notice that, especially ones that knew you or know you. And only love will respect that. The knuckleheads or what have you, the ones that want to bring you back down in the bucket, so to speak, will be trying to disrespect you and call you all type of L7s and shit. And it's like, I'll be that, you know what I mean? Like, I'm alive. See, even that disarm, that's a tactic that'll disarm, in that equation. Like, you'll have one cat that, done cleaned himself up, and then, his homeboy is still out there, and by you not responding in the way that you normally would have and what he's expecting, that disarms the whole situation. Now, if it escalates, the ball is solely in his court now, because most times they'll feel guilty. They'll start feeling, they might say some shit like, yeah, I am a piece of shit or something. I don't know. You know how people like the guilt trip. Yeah, I ain't shit. Yeah, I know I ain't shit, or what have you. And you be like, they want you to agree with them so it can escalate. They want you to agree with them so it could pop off, so they can have a reason to pop off. Ain't that something? So you got to notice these type of things. That's funny ass energy. Now, because boom, if it does go in the way that person wants it to go, it could be both of you. Either way, both of you losing. But most times, yeah, people want smoke, so it ain't this, a couple body shots or what have you. Nah, I'm trying to lay you down. Like, so it's, you see what I mean? Like, and it be off something simple, just like that. That's why when somebody say that, when this word narcissist started being popular in this fucking society, it's like people, when they start learning new words, everybody just fucking floods it. First it was gaslighting, and if you're from the East Coast, that's been a term, gassing you, it's been that, and it's like that just became popular Everybody they be using it wrong and shit. But anyway, as far as narcissism, yeah, everybody holds these traits. It's just some people do it more than others. Some people have mastered it. Some people are novices. Like that's all it is. I've yet to run into no human being. Look, even a child, because once again, children learn off of what they see. So even a child will show traits of narcissism. Now, is it toxic? Is it destroying shit? No. It's more. It's more. Of course, an adult does the damage, especially ones that are like in mastery level. But yeah, you run into that oftentimes, and that's how situations escalate. Most definitely, off of two narcissists. People used to say two crackheads can't live together. When I done saw two crackheads function perfect before, several of them. I only say that because it's like you would think it's two destructive forces. You would think, oh, the worst, and it's like, well, in the equation of two narcissists, yeah, that becomes a recipe for disaster. And that's what you're dealing with now. You dealing with that. You've always been dealing with that. We just have the internet, and motherfuckers are, smarter than the couch now. Like, I don't want anybody to think that I'm coming off like that. Like, if you do, I could really give two shits. But I'm just saying, like, I'm letting that be known. Like, anybody that know me know that I keep it to myself. This right here is just my testimony, and I just want to, I guess journal it. That's what it is, journalism. But yeah, how can we disarm each other, man? Ask yourself that. How are you able to be disarmed? How can one disarm you? Do you prefer love, peace, or do you prefer violence? Ask yourself that. Most people will say love. They'll say love, but hey, everything else is showing, like, it's showing violence. It takes a strong human being to walk away from it. Now, once again, boom, I ain't gonna say don't defend yourself, don't protect yourself. It's just don't do it, don't be the first. Don't be the first. Oh yeah, it's just a climate. It's just a climate that I feel. I've been feeling this. Like I said, if you ask me, we was born into this shit. It's just everybody's me noticing how more people that didn't grow up a certain way is experiencing things that they never thought they experienced. Like they just thought, oh, that's the blacks' problem, or just them saying the term the blacks is crazy. But you get what I'm saying? Motherfuckers would be like, oh, that's their problem, you know what I mean? That ain't us, you know what I mean? And now they dealing with it, and it's, once again, I ain't wishing it on you. Like, that's whack. Definitely ain't wishing that. I want you to live a prosperous life, have food on your table, roof over your family's heads. Like, it ain't us, pushing the deportation and all that shit. One thing we is gonna do is defend ourselves, though, because even though it ain't us antagonizing you or doing anything to you, you coming at us with an evil force. So you gotta know we're gonna defend ourselves. So with that said, that's what I mean. Like when it comes to thinking about how you would be disarmed, because once again, I definitely don't believe everybody's a tough guy. You know, anybody that has ever been battle tested or been a knucklehead or what have you, you'll know that equation. Like oftentimes you're a motherfucker that'll walk away, and you learn that at a young age. Because the one that's really wolfing and all that shit, like really, I heard this recently. The dude said it. They just want to beat your face in. Exactly. They don't really want to kill you. They'll say all that. Cause like I said, most people that go all the way, the one that go all the way, they're not even thinking about everything that come after that. Like okay, you know, what did it do for you? That person is laying there and you're red-handed. Now what? You woke up this morning ready to forfeit everything? Because that's what happens. And most people are not like that. Everybody's just very angry, emotional. If you ask me, this is the proof of our society not following God's laws. I can say from that standpoint, there was a time that I didn't even know God's laws, and I still had it in my moral compass and my genetic makeup to not do certain things. So it's like, once I realized and took heed to, to understanding, and this ain't got shit to do with Christian, Islam, none of that. That's what people don't understand. Like, like I've always said that. Man. Like I gotta follow these, man-made laws, you know what I'm saying? If you don't want to get in trouble, you don't want to, deal with the consequences under their system, yeah. But above that, like, now that you know what I mean? Now that I know God's laws, like, that's a whole different, you know what I'm saying? And with that said, like, just, it has like groomed me, you know what I mean? It has like shaped me. And I'm still a progress. I'm definitely not going to tell anybody that, I got a halo over my, no. I'm definitely, I try to improve every day. I'm big on improvement. I made a live on that. Go check that out. I made a live on that some weeks ago. I said, which would you choose? Improvement? Are you improving? Driven off improvement or winning? Are you all about winning? To me, improving shit, the winning is a plus. I'm all about the process. Like I like seeing the small goals, small accomplishments. I like celebrating small goals, build up to the bigger goal. Then when you get there, you keep going. So it really ain't no, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's just, with that said, like just having God's laws, this is just it's imperative, because it'll how you moving, and it'll how you communicating different. I could say that. It'll have you communicating different. No, it ain't gonna make you pussy or, a duck or none of that. Like it's gonna make you, it's gonna sharpen you. It's gonna sharpen you. That goes for man and woman and child. The man brings it to his family. Like, this is what we on. You won't be moving in an ugly spirit. It'll naturally start coming off of you. shedding that muck, that dirty feeling. Like even when the evil confronts you, even when evil confronts you, you know what I'm saying? You have like an armor, bruh. I don't know if y'all was taught that in Sunday school back when we was on that Christian, you know, thing. We was taught about the armor, you know what I'm saying? I don't remember him teaching it like that though, as far as, you know, having God's laws in your heart. And when he talk about your heart, he's talking about your mind, and vice versa. See, you know, one of them, of course, everybody know, thou shalt not kill. Like I started this live off saying is, you step outside right now, it's like, it seems like everybody wants smoke. And when I say want smoke, like they got a thirst for blood, man. People just want, you know what I mean, take it out. But they don't want to, you know, they want to be able to purge, right? They want to be able to purge, but not, you know, what follows, of course. Nobody wants what the fuck comes after it. You know, everybody want to, you know, have that image that, you know, notice tattoos is like crazy now. Everybody sleeved up, tats all over their face, look like straight up demons, right? Then you go to ask them what they do, they'd be like, they're a chef at a hotel. And you'd be like, oh shit. And it ain't like, you know, I like diversity. I like all that multifaceted, you know, I'm like that. You can never put me in a box. I love that about people. I respect people's differences. That's very much a disarming tactic. Respecting others' differences. We should start there. Peace.